Name's Eric with Electrified Marina, #1 electric boat dealer here in the country. We've got an Ingenity 23-foot, essentially a party barge. You know, it's got this tri-tune hull. It's really interesting. They call it like a cathedral hull. It is a heavy boat, 6,000 to 7,000 pounds depending on battery configuration. But this is the ultimate party barge on the water. You've got seating for 10, very customizable seating. They really did it right with the seating on this thing because it is fully customizable. You can lay these completely down. You can tilt up either end if you want to. I tell people, you know, that Europe is ahead of us in terms of electric boats, but this boat being American made in Orlando, Florida, they really did it right. It's a very Americanized boat. You've got cup holders and storage for days. You've got audio controls and speakers everywhere. You'll notice the JL audio where you've got 8 mids and then 4 subwoofers, so this thing will definitely put out as much music as you want to. But let's jump on and take a look at this. Really, at the helm you do get pretty spoiled. I've got a backup camera that I was using while I was maneuvering at the dock, but you've got your energy usage graph here on the main screen. You've got you know, your navigation, your chart plotter here. One thing that's great too, all of this is pretty customizable in terms of, you know, ergonomics. You've got some controls over here for the seat, go up and down. I think one of the things people don't appreciate is the captain's seat on this boat. As adjustable as it is up and down, forward and backwards, it'll also swivel. And so when you're anchored out there, you know, spending time with the friends and family, you can just hang out and join the party. It works out really well. One of the best parts about these electric boats is the mobile app, so it really does spoil you. You know, you've got your charge, you can name the boat, look up the location. So if you loan the boat to a friend or you've got family out on it, you know, you can literally see their exact location, where they're heading, and then also their speed as well. So it's a pretty nice feature to have. I mentioned the storage earlier. You know, it's really great. You've got plenty of room for all your life jackets under here. Obviously want to make sure you got enough for everybody. This is just one storage compartment on the boat, and we've got 10 life jackets in here. Underneath the storage in here, you've got your table, and it is a quick and easy setup. You've got 2 positions for the table. You can set it up right here. There's also a position down near the stern of the boat, but in just a matter of seconds, you've got a nice table ready for your guests. Got a really nice fridge right here in the middle. It does a good job of keeping everything nice and well insulated, and if that wasn't enough, you've got room for a cooler back here as well. You've also got some dry storage up here, you know, as if the rest of it wasn't enough. You've got some storage in here, your control for the refrigerator, and then some outlets if you needed to charge your cell phones or any of your mobile devices. So here towards the stern of the boat, you've actually got some storage down underneath, and it's actually down where the motor bay is. So we'll take that apart, take a look under there, and show you guys what's under the hood. Not that you'd ever need to, but the motor bay is pretty easy to access. It's just down underneath this storage area. A couple of quarter turns. And that's our motor bay. It's a nice clean motor bay. A little bit of noise coming from the heat pump here. You've got some heat exchangers, piping for the air conditioning. Got some ethylene glycol pumps up here that are pumping coolant through the battery, inverter, and the motor down here in the back. This is just about a 200 horsepower motor. Got the inverter on top there, but you just notice how clean and decent environment to work in compared to a average gas engine motor bay. You know, they're pretty deliberate with the motor position on this. You know, you've got to hold it on. The throttle can't be in out of neutral, so they make you pretty aware of when the boat's on, and it can time out. If you were to turn the thing on, leave it here for a sec, it'll time out and turn the motor off so someone can't come over and hit the throttle and, you know, get the thing going again. As you can tell, you know, at these speeds, you can hardly hear the things even on. I mean, even all the way at the stern of the boat, it's hardly making any noise. So it definitely takes some getting used to. That's about as much noise as it'll make until the motor kicks on. But let's see what this thing sounds like underway. You can actually hear some noise, a lot of it from the heat pump, but also from the Mercury Bravo outdrive, and that's just the gear lash that's in there. The motor really isn't making much noise here. Without that Mercury outdrive, you really wouldn't hear anything on it. This is us underway at about 4 or 5 miles an hour. Let's see what it sounds like at higher speeds. This is us at 20 miles an hour. Obviously, you've got some wind noise. and the motor bay is open, you know, in terms of insulation. So you still get a little bit of motor noise back there, but it's nothing compared to the average gas engine on a boat. One thing you'll notice up here, the fan running, some pretty warm air blowing out of here. You got a condenser and fan, you know, getting rid of the heat from the onboard thermal management system. Every electric boat's a little bit different. This one actually has an onboard heat pump to help get rid of the heat, so it does really well. So anybody that's got an electric car, they're familiar with this, you know, universal J1772, and with the right adapters, you can plug into any dual 30 amp, 50 amp, and then there's even levels above that, which is DC fast charging, and we're working to get those installed at marinas across the country. If you were at a location that had DC fast charging, you've got the high voltage DC lugs, you know, this boat's capable. You're going to be getting a charge in about an hour 20 minutes or so, depending on how low it is when you get there. In terms of charging, you know, you've got dual 30 or 50 amp going into it. This has a pretty decent sized battery pack up there with a Ford Lightning, a Rivian, you know, a Cybertruck. Not to mention the batteries are IP rated to be fully submerged. You know, if you've got water getting into that pack, you probably ripped the boat in half. It would have been a horrible accident. There's more of a chance of a gas boat catching fire or not venting it out and actually literally exploding. You obviously don't have the range, you know, you're not going out into the ocean. You certainly wouldn't want to with this type of boat. But, you know, 25, 30 miles of range at cruising speeds. So, you know, this is a perfect day boat, luxury, you know, party barge, if you will.